Kendrick Perkins. The backcourt comprised of Russell Westbrook and Thabo Sefolosha. And for the Heat, at the 2 and 3, the superstar duo of D-Wade and LeBron James. Shane Battier is out there with Chris Bosh, and it's Chalmers in at the point guard position. Now here's Westbrook.
Well, LeBron James winning his 3rd MVP in 4 seasons last year. And by the numbers anyway, far and away the best player in the league, averaging around 27 points, 8 boards, 6 assists. Almost a walking triple-double.
6 to shoot. Ibaka, no good. Some solid defense from Battier. Oklahoma City on D. Right now we're going to go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Eric Spoelstra. What'd you find out, Doris?
And my first question was, what's the plan against Kevin Durant? Probably the premier scorer in the entire league. He said, well, it starts with trying to keep the ball out of his hands, because once he catches it, you're kind of at his mercy. Guys, Durant's so long, he can just shoot over the top. When he does get the ball, expect to see some double teams.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. He misses the free throw. And going back to LeBron last season, playing the best basketball of his career.
Yeah, and he easily could have won 4 years in a row the MVP trophy, but voter fatigue, I think, does kick in. It's not something people want to hear, but it's a reality. If you ask me, LeBron has been the best in the game for probably 5 or 6 years at least. There's nobody that does what he does on a consistent basis.
He hits the second from the line.
And Kevin, he's really solidified his role as the closer on this team. You know, Miami struggled to figure out whether they'd go to LeBron or Bosh or Wade at first. I think Wade has become the guy.
Well, I tell you what, it's nice to have 2 guys that are capable of closing, Steve. And I agree with you, though. His aggressiveness and confidence probably give him a slight edge in closing over LeBron. You can play great defense on him, but he still typically finds a way to get the shot he wants. You know, the Miami Heat are relatively young as a team in terms of NBA history. Joined the league in 1988, but really hit the ground running and have been a force in the East since they became part of the league.
Well, you look at the Heat, you take away the first 3 years of the franchise as they were building from scratch. Since 1991, they have only missed the playoffs 5 times. Steve, I think that's an amazing stat.
Yeah, the franchise quickly came in and established itself way back as one of the tougher opponents to deal with in the East. They've done a nice job of establishing themselves as a model organization in the NBA over the years.
No good from Durant.
That's the shot he was looking for. I'm surprised he didn't get it to fall.
And Chalmers kicks to Bosh. From 15 feet away, and there's another one for the Heat.
Soft defense right there. Way too soft.
Outside Westbrook. Back to Durant. Right side Durant. Over LeBron. Durant. That's good.
Well, it took a while, but somebody finally got a shot to go.
You know, I was starting to get a little concerned for them. I mean, it hadn't been pretty to this point.
Now here's Bosh. Back to LeBron. Bosh, a screen on Durant. Westbrook against Chalmers. Knocked loose. Wade outside.
Oh, get it! Watch out now. He's so dangerous. Anytime he gets the ball in his hands and gets some momentum going towards the basket.
That was a nice replay. Brought to you by Sprite. Just over 2.5 minutes played here so far in the first quarter.
Well, when you watch Dwayne Wade play, he's a tremendous scorer. The one weakness in his game is the three-point shot. But I think last year he did a really wise thing. He cut way back on his attempts and took his game more inside, where he's such a dominant player.
The Heat leading by 6. And there's the pass to Battier. Feeds it to Chalmers. He's covered by Westbrook. Chalmers with it. 6 on the shot clock. Puts it up from 15. And again, it's Dwayne Wade. Wade's got 5 now. And Steve, you mentioned Wade, never a three-point marksman, under 30% for his career. His game really built around, Clark, I think, the mid-range jumper on in.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, that's the strength of who he is. Now, the three-point shot could add to what he does, but he's doing it at about 25 a game without a real lethal three-point shot. So maybe that's just kind of the chink in his armor, but it still doesn't keep him from being one of the best ever.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. And a new group in for the Heat. Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Bosh. Lewis comes in for Shane Battier. Ray Allen is checked in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Norris Cole in for Mario Chalmers. And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, here's Cole. Backing down is LeBron. And the Thunder pushing it up now. Maynard with the ball. Collison, no good. The Heat leading by 6. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Here's Allen. Good.
That offense just keeps on clicking.
It sure does, Clark. They're getting high percentage looks and really taking advantage here.
He feeds it to Harden. He's against Allen. Harden kicks to Maynard. Back to Harden. Shot clock at 6. Good.
The defense left him just a little window to get through, and he just ducked in for the layup. Terrific job.
The Thunder shooting their first free throw of the game.
And, you know, that just added to their confidence at the offensive end. I mean, knowing that free throw shooting was something they didn't have to worry about gave them a lot of confidence to play freely.
Dwayne Wade's checked in for LeBron. Kevin Durant's checked in for the Thunder. Westbrook comes in for Eric Maynard. That free throw good from Harden.
You know, James Harden has started to draw comparisons to Manu Ginobili for his ability to really do it all offensively. Shoot, drive, create, and of course, being left-handed, that helps too.
Thunder trailing by 5. 4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Passes it to Durant. Rebound by the Heat. And it's Wade penetrating. Now the feed to Cole. Back to Wade. Over Westbrook. It's Wade again missing. And so the first quarter is in the books. Heat out front. They lead by 5. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And let's quickly break down the game we've been seeing from the Heat, guys.
Really good sign offensively the way they started this game out, getting a lot of hoops from close range.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to get baskets inside. I know you were a three-point shooter, Steve, and a really good one, but it's always easier to score in the paint.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the floor for Miami, Haslem and Bosh are up front. Ray Allen and LeBron fill out the wings, and it's Chalmers in at the point guard. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Well, James Harden, last year's Sixth Man of the Year, he gives the Thunder a boost of energy and offense when he steps onto the court. And he'll tell you that enthusiasm is built in. It all comes with the package, he said. That excitement on the court, I'm the same way off the court. I like to have fun, meet people. I like to give high fives to the kids courtside. That's my personality, and I'm definitely starting to show it a lot more now. Guys?
Now from the beard to his three-point celebrations, he's a guy who's very comfortable expressing himself. Thanks, Doris. The Heat have gone 2 for 3 at the foul line in this game.
You know, success at the line just became contagious for him. A few guys got on a roll, and it carried over to the rest of the team.
And the first one drops.
You can tell a lot about a team by how it handles its business on the road. Typically, that's a good barometer of what kind of success a team is going to have, what they get done on the road. The Thunder showed last year they were going to be right in the mix with their road play.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Rashard Lewis, he's checked in for Bosh. Battier comes in for LeBron. Dwayne Wade's checked in for Ray Allen. And it's Norris Cole in for Mario Chalmers. Yeah, the Thunder finished 21-12 on the road last season. For a team so good at home to be able to win on the road like they did, Steve, I thought that was incredibly impressive.
Well, to be an elite team in the NBA, Kevin, you have to win on the road. You got to control your home court and then be able to go out and grind out wins away from home, and that's exactly what Oklahoma City has established the last couple of seasons.
And here now the Thunder, after Dwayne Wade's miss, gets the bucket.
Just like they drew it up, fellas.
We're about a minute and a half into the second quarter now. Here's Cole. The dish to Wade.
Well, guys, Eric Spoelstra is really a young coach, but he's worked his way up from video coordinator to being one of the outstanding head coaches in the league. To be where he is, coaching one of the very elite teams in the NBA in Miami, you couldn't ask for a better position or a better opportunity, but I really have great respect and admiration for the way he's handled that and grown into that position. It's one of the better stories in the league in my mind.
And so here is Miami, following the score by Oklahoma City. Timeout is called. First of the game for the Thunder.
Well, you talk about the job that Eric Spoelstra has done for the Heat, Clark. A young coach, certainly, but he's earned the opportunity to coach this roster, and he's shown that he's up to the task. One of the brightest young coaches in the game.
Ray Allen, he's checked in for Udonis Haslem. And a new group in here for the Thunder. Nick Collison's checked in for Perkins. Durant comes in for Jones. James Harden, he's checked in for Daquan Cook. And Russell Westbrook is subbed in for Eric Maynard. Thunder trailing by 4. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. Durant, the pass to Westbrook. Battier with the steal. Gets the bucket. Thunder have gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second.
Well, guys, I thought acquiring Shane Battier was a terrific move for the Miami Heat, both on and off the court. You know, on the court, he's a great shooter and a smart defender. Makes that corner 3 to space the floor. And then in the locker room, with his maturity and his leadership and his ability to handle the media, a really good role for Battier in Miami.
Here's Cole, following the basket by Russell Westbrook. The drive by Wade from 11 feet away. It's hauled in by Collison.
So far, he hasn't made much of a contribution at the offensive end.
Harden dishes to Westbrook. Westbrook gets a screen from Collison. From deep, Harden. No luck. And it's Miami the other way. Stevie touched on the presence of Shane Battier, a very cerebral player. Enjoys that part of the game. He did at Duke. He does in the NBA. He said he looks at basketball, Clark, as a sort of chess match.
And I think that's been his edge, Kevin, his approach, his mental approach to how he sees and thinks the game.
Westbrook can't get it to go.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for him.
And 1:01 left in the first half. Clock at 6. Allen, a screen on Westbrook. Near the three-point line, it's Wade. And the foul called on Rashard Lewis. That's foul number 2 for him. And a new group in for the Heat. Chris Bosh is checked in for Lewis. Haslem comes in for Shane Battier. LeBron, he's checked in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Chalmers in for Norris Cole. Then for the Thunder, Serge Ibaka is checked in for Collison. Daquan Cook comes in for Cephalosha. And it's Maynard in for Russell Westbrook. Dishes it to Ibaka. Left side, Ibaka. The 3 from Harden. It's hauled in by the Heat. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. LeBron kicks to Allen. Battles through traffic and lays it in. And the Heat lead by 6.
Well, a nice little trend developing here, fellas. I mean, that's 8 of their last 10 from inside the paint.
Yeah, they're getting high percentage looks down there. Their offense is really clicking. I don't see why they wouldn't just continue to pound the ball inside.
Maynard kicks to Durant. Here's Harden on the wing. Pass to Ibaka. Over Bosch. No good on that last second attempt there. And that does it for the first half of play. Heat lead by 6. And don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of the third quarter.
Now, presented by Sprint.
What a great way to end the week. A little NBA basketball on 2K Sports. An impressive start for the Heat. They're putting on a clinic offensively, and they're really starting to click. D. Wade playing impressively so far. Also getting into the mix, Ray Allen. And the Thunder, man, they're putting up a fight. It's been a hard-fought game, but they've risen to the challenge, really showing what they're made of. A nice first half turned in by Kevin Durant. And Russell Westbrook's also been getting it done. And that's all we have for you here in the studio. Now let's send it on back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the second half of play.
And we welcome you back with a beautiful view of downtown Miami and the sparkling American Airlines Arena.
Well, Dwayne Wade in this one, he's got 5 points and a block.
Thunder trailing by 6.
Well, I think the time has passed when the Heat were kind of the villains of the NBA. It seemed like that role maybe went over to Dwight Howard a year ago with all of his individual issues. But, you know, LeBron and Bosch, Wade, they're never going to be, you know, the lovable underdog. But I think things have settled down there, and people have at least accepted them for who they are now.
Second half is underway, and here's who Scott Brooks has got on the floor. Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka, and Kendrick Perkins, their front court trio. That court comprised of Russell Westbrook and Thabo Sefolosha. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Well, for the Heat last season, some adjustments made offensively, and maybe most importantly, LeBron and D. Wade resolved to get inside, and they cut down on their three-pointers. LeBron trimmed his three-point attempts almost in half. Wade cut his down to about a quarter from the prior year. Chris Bosh said, them getting down into that post, being aggressive, getting to the line and drawing fouls, I think is great for the team. LeBron James said, I'm just trying to focus on being in the paint and get to the free throw line. We have enough three-point shooters on this team. Kevin?
Well, Doris, it makes sense. They're tough to handle down there, and it opens up things for everyone else. Free throw good, LeBron. Time certainly tends to heal a lot, and there definitely has been less villainization, as you were talking about, Steve, to coin a term, for the Miami Heat since they, you know, Clark signed the big three. I think people now look at him in more basketball terms than anything else.
Yeah, I like the creativity of that word, Kevin, but you know what? Time is one thing, but I'll tell you something else. They should send a fruit basket to Dwight Howard for helping take some of the scrutiny off of them. There are always going to be villains in the NBA, but they come and go, and the Heat seem to have served their time, at least in my opinion.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City.
Well, with such a young core and showing that they can be a team that can hold their own in the tough Western Conference, it's possible we could be looking at a decade-long run here with the Thunder, where they win multiple conference championships and maybe NBA titles as well.
And if you're just joining us, we played over a minute here in the third. Here's Westbrook. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. See, that's a good thought. You certainly have to think so, the way they are dominating their division and the rest of the West the past few years. Clark, what a solid young core they have to go with.
Yeah, they're fantastic, Kevin. Such a young team. They've been knocking on the door for a championship the last couple of years, and they should be a contender as long as they can keep this core together and stay healthy.
Free throw good, Westbrook.
You know, I think there's always a balance for Miami between getting out and running and letting Wade and LeBron do their thing and running the sets that Eric Spoelstra likes. The Miami franchise has always been very controlled offensively over the years, and it's been a little bit of a quandary in terms of how to play. Do we get out and run, or do we play the way this team has traditionally played?
And the Heat call time here. There is a tightrope that has been walked, Steve. You're right, with Miami in terms of play style. They, Clark seemed to find a balance, though, I thought, last year as the season went on.
Well, you know what? When you have players of their caliber, superstars, you've got to give them a lot of rope and just let them go out and play and be free. It took some getting used to from both sides. But as you said, last year I thought they looked to be in sync.
Now here's Wade. He's got 7. LeBron James on the wing. Kicks it to Bosh. Back to LeBron. Over Durant. A nice shot by LeBron.
And his skills go well beyond just his scoring ability. They really can run their entire offense through him.
And here's Westbrook. He has 6. Perkins with the screen for Westbrook. And the basket good. Westbrook's got 4 points now in the quarter.
I think the 2 most explosive point guards in the league right now, Kevin, are Derrick Rose and Westbrook. We just haven't seen the kind of point guards in league history with this kind of finishing ability at the rim.
Well, he does a great job absorbing contact, double clutching, and if he gets a good step on you, forget about it. He can throw it down with the best of them.
Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Miami. Then for the Thunder, Nick Collison's checked in for Perkins. And it's Harden in for Thabo Sefolosha. Free throw good, Westbrook.
Well, one thing that you can't say is that the Thunder's rise to the top caught anyone by surprise. In the annual GM survey before the season started, more than 2/3 of the general managers in the league picked Oklahoma City to win the West.
Offensive rebound. The kick out to LeBron. Haslem a screen. LeBron passes to Haslem. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And you look at the roster they have, and Steve, you kind of alluded to it around the league. They were garnering great success. The stars like Westbrook and Durant, so much youth. It's no wonder all those GMs, Clark, that Steve was just talking about, picked Oklahoma City.
And the scary thing is that they'll keep getting picked over and over again. I mean, they have a lot of depth and a lot of skill, and I just see them getting better and better each season.
Haslem hits both of them.
When you're the talk of the league, it comes with some perks and additional pressure. I mean, you've got a target on your back, and that's what the Heat had on them all last year. A lot of teams in the West wanted to test themselves against Miami. Not a lot going wrong for them on offense in the early part of the third. I mean, that's 3 makes on 4 tries now.
Chalmers dishes to Allen. He kicks it to Haslem. Over Collison. Haslem, that's good. Haslem's got 5 now. Miami, for the most part, Steve, dealt with the West all right. They're 11-7, but clearly it wasn't as easy for them as when they played teams from the East.
Well, the Heat have to travel a long way, coming all the way from Miami to go to the western part of the United States. I think that can be a factor. And let's face it, the Western Conference is much stronger than the East, so their record out there is not going to be as impressive.
Thunder trailing by 7. .152 left to play in the third. Beyond the arc. LeBron grabs the miss. The Heat have gone 3 of 5 to start the second half, developing a nice rhythm out there. Haslem can't get it to go. And stolen by LeBron. They get it back. Haslem, that's good. Haslem's got 7 points in the game.
Been a little too easy for them inside, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, Steve. I mean, they've really dictated the action in the paint. That's been their focus, and the defense hasn't mounted much resistance at all.
Puts it up. Collison, no good.
Well, he was right there, but the defensive pressure forced that miss.
Well contested. That really made it a tough shot.
Thunder trailing by 9. Here's Harden. Great D that time from LeBron.
That's an easy shot there. It's a shot that he should make more often than not.
Here's Haslem. Buries it down low. Haslem's got 8 here in the quarter.
Well, and you can't let them get deep position.
Yeah, you got to do your work early here, Steve, and you got to be physical with it.
Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Harden kicks to Westbrook. And that one's good. Westbrook's got 11.
Now they may have to climb on his back to get back into this game.
Now the pass to Chalmers. LeBron James on the wing. Has him a screen. It's LeBron with the drive. Back to Chalmers for the three. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. LeBron's now got 3 assists in the game. Now Harden feeds it to Westbrook. A stupendous finish in traffic. 13 points in the game.
And that kind of power move has become a trademark for him.
He's got his 4th free throw of the game.
Well, he was an excellent foul shooter a season ago at about 82%.
And guys, the numbers don't lie. I mean, he was such a reliable presence at the free throw line all throughout last season.
And the free throw, no good. Wade from outside, no good on the buzzer beater. And as we end the 3rd quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. It's the Heat. They're up by... Back after this from the American Airlines Arena. Welcome back. It's time for the 4th quarter and time to check in with the 4th member of our team, Doris Burke, to find out who had the Sprite uncontainable game. Doris?
Kevin, for the Heat, it's been an uncontainable game from their backup power forward. He's been a big part of the game with his role off the bench. Exactly the kind of player you want to be able to bring into the game.
And Doris, thank you. What a great performance indeed. Such a huge lift to your team when you can get this production from a reserve.
Yeah, in my mind, Kevin, he's been the most valuable player of this game. And when you can say that about somebody coming off the bench, I mean, that just shows you the impact that one person can have on this game.
Well, like Kevin said, it is a huge lift. I mean, I think a performance like that coming from a sub really energizes everybody else. It's contagious.
So with LeBron on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. Norris Cole and Dwayne Wade combine at guard. Chris Bosh is out there with Shane Battier, and it's Allen in at the 3, the small forward. Here is Durant. After the Heat pickup.
Oh my goodness. What a huge play.
Nasty, nasty. Whoa.
And that look right there on Clark says it all.
He's not alone, Kevin. I mean, that was just mean right there.
And the Heat with some changes. LeBron comes in for Ray Allen. And it's Chalmers in for Norris Cole. And then for Oklahoma City, Harden comes in for Cephalosha. And Russell Westbrook has subbed in for Eric Maynard.
I've just got to say this. I mean, the Thunder fans have really been spoiled since the team moved to Oklahoma City. 4 years in, and they've made the playoffs in all but the first season.
LeBron James on the wing. Defended by Durant. Shot clock at 6. Battier cannot hit. Thunder trailing by 9. Back to Oklahoma City. Made the playoffs. Gone deep more often than not. And talk about winning over a city when they relocated Steve from Seattle. They have done that and more.
Well, that city has really embraced the franchise, Kevin, and it helps when you've got guys like Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook who are not only phenomenal players to watch, but really good people who the community can embrace. So I think the love affair between the team and the community is going to last a long time.
Now here's Durant after LeBron James's miss. Harden's shot is good.
Something has to change, guys. That's 10 straight points coming in the paint against this team.
Well, they got to collapse in there, and everybody's got to be conscious of it. It's a team effort in protecting the paint. Control the ball, and then everybody's got to get in there and keep the defense locked down.
And the Heat call time here.
Well, for Russell Westbrook, last year a career high in field goal percentage and points per game. Just a devastating score, getting even better. And he can score in so many different ways. Transition, he can knock down the jumper, and he's a terrific offensive rebounder.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying to his team. It was a pretty upbeat huddle. He said, "I'll bet they won't take us lightly next time, guys." Clearly, he was aware of their underdog status coming into this basketball game, guys.
Well, this fella can rise up there with the best of them.
Just a crazy finish, guys.
He's one of the few players with the athleticism to pull that off.
And that was Sprite bringing you the close-up on that big-time play. And you mentioned how well Westbrook scored last season. His assists did dip quite a bit.
But that wasn't just him. That was along with the team as a whole. The Thunder near the bottom of the league in assists because they've got great individual scorers. They are able to get points without a lot of ball movement. Once they incorporate the ball movement and the sharing of the ball with those explosive scores, then I think you're going to have something special.
Wade misses. Thunder trailing by 7. Outside Westbrook. Can he keep it going? He feeds it to Cephalosha. And it's off from three-point range. He'd have gone just 33% from the field in the fourth quarter so far. They are 2 of 6. Chalmers passes to Battier. That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist. And the Heat lead by 9.
3 straight buckets in the paint. They're making it look effortless.
Well, speaking of effortless, you'd like to see a little more out of the defense. How about trying, guys?
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City.
You know, he wants to tinker a little bit, and he's taking the time to do so right here.
Yeah, I think you're right. He just didn't like some of the things he saw out there, a bit uncomfortable, and wanted to talk it over.
And the Thunder making a change here. Perkins is checked in. Here's Westbrook. Defended by Chalmers. Westbrook dishes to Perkins. And a strong finish with 2 hands.
An open lane right there. Pretty much saw the daylight he wanted and took advantage.
Yeah, great opportunity, and he seized it without much hesitation.
Yeah, a little too easy, if you ask me. The defense really needs to tighten things up here.
And here are the Heat now, following the score by Oklahoma City. Stolen by Durant. Leads him in there. Perkins with the bucket. And now it's only a 5-point Heat lead.
His team has to tighten up inside. Way too many easy hoops in the lane.
Yep, that's 5 straight buckets they've given up from the key now, and it's...
Oh!
Are you kidding me? That was a power punch right there.
Oh, great.
Now we're cooking with gas, partner. My goodness.
A breathtaking display of aerial supremacy, no doubt.
It's almost unfair, guys. I mean, when you can get up that high, that's crazy.
Lets a floater go, and the shot is good. And that's 13 points for Kevin Durant.
Boy, they are really getting chewed up inside here. I mean, that's 8 of the last 10 points they've given up inside, in the paint.
Yeah, and the paint should be sacred ground for a defense. I mean, you can't let anybody just trot in there and get an easy bucket.
That's good from Durant.
You know, being behind in this game, Kevin, they're doing what they need to do, driving the lane and forcing the defense into some mistakes.
Well, and even if it doesn't fall, they're stopping the clock and getting a chance to score from the line.
And the Heat call time here. They're winning by 4. We've got 1:23 left in the game. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. And that one's good. And it's 13 points for Wade.
Excellent find there on that inbound. Really good execution.
Wade against Harden. He passes to Westbrook. Over Chalmers. Offensive rebound. Goes back up. Cannot hit.
They've done their part here to run down a lot of missed shots. A solid rebounding effort.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I mean, they're fighting for every loose ball, putting a body on somebody and going after the rim.
Passes it to Bosh. Shot clock at 5. The feed to LeBron. Fader on the way. And the Heat get another bucket right there.
Yeah, this club well on its way to victory. Beautiful offensive execution.
Yeah, I like the fact it was wire to wire too, guys. A fantastic job for them.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. They're losing by 8. There's 39 seconds left in the fourth quarter. There's 39 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Durant drawing the double team. Here's Westbrook. Another miss by Westbrook. The Heat have gotten into a pretty good groove, going 6 of 10 here in the final quarter. Tipped away. And Chalmers kicks to LeBron. T-Wade on the wing. Over Harden. And it's Miami with another.
And that one should remove all doubt about the outcome of this game. This thing's over.
Now it's just a matter of what the winning margin's going to be.
Ibaka. Outside for Durant. But Trey misses there. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. Not much to be critical of with this win, Clark.
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play. They showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Steve, and Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Holland saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Dwayne Wade.
Okay. Drop it to the floor. Make that. Whoa, make the ground move. That's an essence. Say yay, don't we do this every day? I worked them long nights to get a payday. Finally